our sponsor for this podcast is the Teachers Insurance Plan in New Jersey, and we're big into highlighting educators in the world and being able to shine a light on them because of everything that they do for us. I know that you really were able to partner up with a group to make sure musical instruments get put into a bunch of different schools around the country. I wanted to know if you could talk a little bit about that, why that was so important to you, and also is there a special educator in your life that really stuck out that you want to give a little shout out too?
Oh, cool, man. I love that. Yeah, music education is crucial to me. We skipped over a lot of years in the beginning of this from that time when I got hurt to before I actually joined this band. In that interim time period, I was playing with a few people. I was, picking up tours here and there, but for the most part, I was teaching. I was teaching kids music, and I love it because everything that I do ties back to what I learned in music school and in the music programs of my school. And again, small town, growing up, not much to do, a lot of snow on the ground. If you were an athlete, you were super dedicated to your craft because you'd have to freeze your butts off. But for us musician kids, we were just stuck inside with our instruments, practicing all day. So I always kind of took that as an advantage. And I know some absolute shredder players out of Alaska, and I think it's in part because of that. I think you're surrounded by all this beauty, but also you've got, you know, music educators that really believe in what they're doing, and then you've got kids that push each other. So I had a ton of competition from players that I still play with. Zach Carruthers, the original bass player and co-founder of Portugal the Man, him and I met in jazz band in Wasilla High School like a billion years ago. He was playing saxophone, I was playing upright bass, and we were just like playing Charlie Mingus and Miles Davis tunes, as just like 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds. So it's super, super, super close to my heart. And I think even when I was a kid in those programs, there was always this sort of notion that those programs might not be the most prioritized or the most funded. And our school bureau certainly had massive funding issues. Small town, I think almost all small towns deal with that, where education funding just isn't necessarily always the priority, and the arts and music are always kind of the first things to get chopped. So if they can get advantaged at all or helped out at all by people that have been through it, come out on the other side, had some success with it, I think it's your responsibility to put a little bit back in that coffer and keep it going because that's what got you everything that you got. So
Absolutely.
shout
I was gonna say, is there a teacher that you want to shout out that helped you get there?
I'd say Dale Toomey. I'd say Mark Thompson. I'd say all the way back to my very first piano teacher that I had in Palmer,
Uh-huh.
Alaska, Miss Hitchcock. I can't remember her first name right
Hmm.
now. I just found out that Mrs. Hitchcock is still teaching piano at the age of 90 in Palmer, Alaska. I just recently learned that. I found her on Facebook, but yeah, shout out to all the Hitchcocks and all the Toomeys and all the Kevin Worrells and still to this day, like the producers that we work with. Brian, Danger Mouse, like the world's full of educators in the arts, and I hope to continue to pass on what I know and help keep moving education forward with music. Like that's how we keep going forward. That's how we get better.